People are calling me a wicked woman. Why? Because I reported my husband to immigration. They said I blocked my husband's destiny and reported him to immigration. And people will say, don't speak. Don't bring your family issues to social media. No, I will speak. Because if I keep quiet, my heart will burst open. Now, let's be clear. I did not report Jude to immigration. Jude used his own hands to build the casket of his American dream, climbed inside, and shot the lid with his own hands. He destroyed himself. Now listen, let me give you the backstory.
Hello guys, welcome back to Daisy Blog. If you are new here, thank you for joining us. Now let's dive into today's story. Sometimes the greatest heartbreak does not come from strangers. It comes from people we trust the most. A Nigerian woman has come online to share what she described as the beginning of one of the most painful chapters of her life. According to her, this is the only part one of her story. She explained that she was living in the United Kingdom, working as a healthcare assistant and doing everything she could to build a better future. Like many immigrants, life was not easy. She worked long hours, made sacrifices, and saved every penny she could. Despite the challenges, she remained hopeful that one day she will build a happy home with the right person. During one of her trips back to Nigeria, she attended a young program and where she met a man named Jude. They got talking, became close, and eventually fell in love. To her, it felt like a dream come true. She believed she had finally found the man who would spend the rest of her life. After resuming to the UK, they continued their relationship despite the distance. According to her, she stood by him in every possible way. She supported him financially whenever he needed help and remained committed to making their relationship work. Then came the next big step. She wanted her husband to join her in the UK so they could finally begin their life together. However, she said the visa process was not straightforward. There were delays and unexpected challenges. Instead of giving up, she made what she described as the biggest sacrifice of her life. According to her, she sold the only property she had inherited from her late father. It was a piece of land that meant so much to her and her family. She said many of her relatives begged her not to sell it. They questioned whether it was the right decision, but her answer remained the same. This is my husband. I have to do what I have to do. She believed she was investing in their future. Eventually, all the papers was completed and he joined her in the United Kingdom. Let's pause here for a moment. Watch the next part carefully.
I met Jude 5 years ago in Enugu while I was visiting from the United States of America. I have spent years in this United States working double shifts day and night as a certified nursing assistant. My feet was always swollen. Should I talk about the backache that comes with it? My back was always aching. But when I met Jude at a youth church program, I thought God had finally answered my prayers. He was so humble, a brother in Christ, and always praying. He would literally carry my handbag for me every time. And for 4 years, we did long distance relationship. Every dollar I made from cleaning elderly people's nyash in America, I sent them to Jude. And when his visa processing got tough, I did the unthinkable. I sold the only piece of land my father left for me in the village. All my kinsmen called me a fool for that. But guess what? I told them he is my husband and our future is worth it. And the day Jude finally landed in JFK International Airport, I cried until my makeup washed off. I thought our suffering had ended. For the first 3 weeks he got to America, he was a darling. And by the second month, the Japa spirit had entered into his head. He stopped eating my food. He started coming home at 2 a.m. smelling of cheap perfume from cheap women. He started buying expensive clothes that my CNA paycheck could barely afford. And one Saturday evening, I confronted him. And Jude looked me dead in the eyes and said, Ada, just take a look at yourself in the mirror. You look like a repackaged grandmother. I didn't travel all the way from Nigeria to America to spend the rest of my life with a feeding bottle. This country has opened my eyes. And that is what Jude looked me in the eyes and told me after I sold the only piece of land my father gave me in the village to bring him to America. This is what he had to tell me. I now look like a repackaged grandmother. And you think that was all? No. The next morning, the wardrobe was empty. My husband had vanished. Jude vanished into thin air.
For a brief moment, everything seems perfect. She said the first few weeks were exactly how she had imagined marriage life would be. He was loving, he was caring, he was attentive. She felt like every sacrifice has worth it. But according to her, that happiness did not last. She claimed that by the second month, things began to change. The man she thought she knew was no longer behaving the same way. He stopped eating the meal she prepared. He started coming home late at night. Sometimes he would return smelling of expensive perfume. She began to notice a distance growing between them. At first, she tried to ignore it. She hoped it was simply the stress of adjusting to a new country. But the pattern continued. Eventually, she decided to comfort him, not to argue, but to understand what was happening. She wanted answers. She wanted to know why the man she had sacrificed so much for seemed simply different. According to her, his response left her devastated. She alleged that he looked directly at her and told her she looked like a repacked grandma. He reportedly went on to say that he did not come to the UK to be with someone like her, and that living in the UK had opened his eyes. Imagine hearing those words from someone you had given everything to, someone from whom you sold your inheritance, someone you defended when your own family questioned your decisions. According to her, the heartbreak did not just end there. The following morning, she woke up and discovered that he had left. His clothes were gone, his wardrobe was empty. There was no explanation, no goodbye, no conversation, just silence. She said that experience completely shattered her. She explained that what happened afterward eventually led her to report the matter to the immigration authorities. At this point, it is important to remember that this is an account of events. The other person mentioned in the story has not publicly shared his own version, so we cannot independently verify every claim being made. Stories like this remind us that every situation has different perspective. It is important to avoid rushing to conclusion based on one side alone. Regardless of how this story eventually unfolds, it highlights the emotional and financial risks that can come with placing complete trust on another person. Love should inspire sacrifice, but it should never require someone to lose themselves entirely. Trust is important, but so is wisdom. Supporting your partner is a beautiful thing, but major life decisions should be made carefully, with open communication and realistic expectations. This is only part one of her story, and many people are waiting to hear what happened next. Hopefully, whenever the full truth may be, it serves as a lesson above love, trust, commitment, and the importance of making life-changing decisions with both your heart and your mind. What are your thoughts on this emotional story? Do you think she sacrificed too much too soon, or do you believe she simply did what any loving spouse would have done? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comment section. So guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and share it with your friends and family, and also follow us for more.